I am a white American gun owner, and I have something to say. As far as the part about being white, well, I'm not ashamed of that, but I'm also not proud of it because I had nothing to do with it. I was born that way and wasn't really consulted about it ahead of time. So I feel no pride and I feel no guilt in something that was just an accident of birth. As for being an American, well, that's because I was born here and haven't decided to leave. And I understand that I have a lot of advantages from being born here as compared to a lot of people born in other places. But I don't think that those other people are of less value or have fewer rights than I do just because they were born somewhere else. You see, I'm one of those crazy kooks who wants freedom and justice for everyone, everywhere. And the reason I'm a gun owner is because I understand that the day may come when I may be one of the people who has to create and defend freedom and justice for everyone. And by the way, law and order is not the same thing as justice. Law and order has been used as an excuse for authoritarian oppression throughout history. Freedom is justice. And I hate to break it to a bunch of my fellow white American gun owners, but referring to the United States as a free country at this point is kind of ridiculous. Are there worse places? Absolutely. But should our standard be that we will proudly put up with authoritarian garbage as long as it's worse somewhere else? No, that is stupid and cowardly. So you may be wondering, which side am I on regarding these protests or riots or police actions or whatever? Well, I already told you, I am on the side of freedom and justice. That means I am on the side of the innocent victim, always. And I am against the aggressors, always. That means that when badge-wearing thugs are harassing, intimidating, assaulting, and murdering nonviolent people, I am on the side of the victims, not the aggressors. It also means that when looters and vandals are stealing or destroying private property, I am still on the side of the victims, not the thugs and thieves. Right now, a lot of people seem to be arguing over which set of aggressors and thugs they should be cheering for, which is idiotic, and it's exactly what the ruling class wants to see. If you support the police when they do evil crap and then lie about it and try to cover for each other and try to get away with it, that doesn't make you a good person. Good people oppose that. And if you support looters and rioters whose misplaced anger gets taken out on anyone or anything that happens to be around them, harming innocent people in the process and destroying their property, that doesn't make you a good person. Good people oppose that. The political opportunists want you to pick sides between the cops and the looters instead of having enough principles to oppose both when they act as immoral thugs. And yes, government infiltrators and instigators keep getting caught trying to make peaceful protests into violent riots so they have an excuse to crack down on them. Please don't fall for that. If you have principles and apply them to all people in all situations, then such tricks and manipulations won't work on you. If you consistently oppose violent aggressors, those with badges and those without, and if you consistently defend innocent victims, then you are on my side and I am on your side. If, on the other hand, you put race or nationality or religion or politics above principles and justice, then you are part of the damn problem. If I see some white thug with a badge victimizing some nonviolent black person, I will intervene by force if necessary. And it's not about race, it's about justice. And if I see some black looter threatening some white store owner, I will intervene by force if necessary. And it won't be about race, it will be about justice. That is how all decent people of all colors should behave. It's a simple concept, but it's something that all of the political crooks want you to miss. They want us to be divided. They want us to distrust and hate each other. Because if we all understand that sticking to principles, being on the side of the victim and against the aggressor is the way to be, their power is gone. I don't give a damn where you were born or what color you are. I want freedom and justice for you. Right now, the government and a hell of a lot of cops are the enemy of freedom and justice. And that makes them my enemy. And of course, private thugs and thieves are also my enemy. That's how principles work. Keep your mind focused enough to remember who the real enemy is. You can't identify him by skin color or where he comes from or how he talks. You can identify him by his actions. If he commits or condones aggression against innocents, then he is the enemy of freedom and justice, whether his thuggery is called vandalism or law enforcement. If, on the other hand, he uses his words and actions to oppose such aggression, then he is an ally of freedom and justice. And that is true whether such defensive force is done by somebody with a badge or by somebody who gets called a criminal or an anarchist for illegally opposing legalized injustice. On that note, let me finish this up by saying that in addition to being a white armed American, I'm also an anarchist. And contrary to the BS that you'll hear in the mainstream media, no, that does not mean that I smash windows and throw Molotov cocktails around. It means that I think that you own yourself and that you do not need and should not have any ruler stealing the fruits of your labor or controlling your life. It means that I think that you and everyone else should be free from all thugs and thieves, including the ones that wear uniforms and call their thuggery and their thievery law. It means that I want a society with no masters and no slaves. If you want to know more about that, below I'll give a free link to a PDF on the topic, or if you want a more thorough understanding, you can get a copy of my book, The Most Dangerous Superstition. But whatever your political beliefs, whatever your nationality, race, religion, priorities, and preferences, I hope that you can see through the ridiculous BS that those in power and their puppets in the media are attempting here. And I hope that you don't fall for it. Hang on to your principles. Always take the side of freedom and justice in every situation. And remember who the real enemy is.